So which of these names on the right belong to the group of shapes called triangles, so having 3 sides, or quadrilaterals having 4 sides? So equilateral is a triangle, rhombus, quadrilateral, isosceles is a triangle, square is a quadrilateral, parallelogram a quadrilateral, kite is a quadrilateral, right angle is referred to a triangle as well as scalene. So you need to know all of these names off by heart. So what are they? So let's look at the properties. We've already looked at triangles. Let's look at our quadrilaterals now. So take this sheet and you can pause the video and see what ones you can fill in by yourself and then check your answers. So the first one, we have a square, and the missing property there is the angle properties of 4 90-degree angles. A rectangle, you need to get into the habit of putting all the information on your diagram, so your right angles marked in, your equal sides marked in. So opposite sides are equal and opposite sides are parallel. So all angles are equal and each angle is 90 degrees. The next one is our parallelogram. So it's like we've taken our rectangle and pushed it on its side. So the side properties of the 2 pairs of equal sides, the opposite sides equal and the opposite sides are parallel. The opposite angles are also equal. So that means that this angle in this corner equals this one. Then this angle in this corner here is equal to this one. Our rhombus is like our square pushed on the side, so it's got 4 equal sides. The opposite sides are parallel. The next one is our kite, and you need to mark in with the dashes the equal sides. So it's got 2 pairs of equal sides next to each other, so they're adjacent equal sides, and 1 pair of opposite angles are equal. And those angles are this one here and this one here. Now our trapezium has 1 pair of parallel sides only, marked by the arrowheads, and every angle is acute. Okay, can you take out this sheet now, and then if you can, just pause this and see if you can name each of the shapes, so write the names of the shapes on it. So I've got square, a rectangle, a kite, a parallelogram, trapezium, and a rhombus. Now I'm going to ask you to cut out each of these shapes carefully so that you can work out the different properties of these quadrilaterals. So once you've cut the shapes out, then you need to take the sheet that looks like this, and you need to read carefully what it says at the top there. So using your ruler, your protractor and your set square, have a look at the properties and see which ones you can tick or you need to cross, whether they're true or false in each of these. So you can pause the video and do that, and then you can come back and check your answers. Okay, so quadrilaterals, let's look at the trapezium first. Opposite sides are equal? No. Opposite sides are parallel? Well, 1 pair are only. Opposite angles are equal? No. All angles are 90? No. Our parallelogram, opposite sides are equal? Yes. Opposite sides parallel? Opposite angles are equal? Yep. And all angles are 90? No. Because if they were 90, it would become a rectangle. Our rhombus, equal, parallel sides, opposite angles equal, but the angles are not 90 degrees because that's our square pushed on the side. Our rectangle, opposite sides are equal, parallel, opposite angles are equal, and all the angles are 90. A square, well, they're all correct for the square. Our kite, opposite sides are equal. Well, that's not true. Adjacent sides are equal though. Opposite sides are parallel. No. Opposite angles are equal. Only that 1 pair. All angles are 90. That's not true either. The next thing, our axis of symmetry. Well, in a trapezium, it's 0 or 1, because if you have a trapezium that has parallel sides that are different lengths, but the other two sides are equal in length. It's kind of like an isosceles trapezium. You can have one only down the centre, but most trapeziums have no axis of symmetry. Parallelograms have none. A rhombus has two. A rectangle has two. A square has four. And a kite has one. Our diagonals. Now let's look at the properties of the diagonals of these shapes. So for the trapezium, they're all none. None of those properties will work. The parallelogram, diagonals are equal. No, they bisect each other. The word bisect, just so you know, means to cut in half. The diagonals intersect at right angles. No. The diagonals bisect the angles of the quadrilateral, so they cut the corner angle in half. No. For the rhombus, they're not equal either. One's longer than the other. They do bisect each other. They do actually cut the angles in the corners of the rhombus, and they do bisect. They cut at the centre at right angles. A rectangle, all of them are true. So the first two are true, and then the second two are false. For the square, they're all true. For the kite, the diagonals are not equal. They do not bisect each other. They intersect at right angles, and only one of them bisects the angle. So also with the diagonals bisect, one of them is cut in half, but the other one's not. Okay. Alright, let's look at the angle sum. So measuring all the angles of the quadrilaterals, you'll find that they're all 360 degrees. So the angle sum for any quadrilateral whatsoever is 360 degrees. One of the reasons why that works is because if you can cut any quadrilateral into two triangles, and you look at the angles of the triangles, they add up to 180. So two lots of 180 is 360, and that's why all the 4 different angles of the quadrilateral always add up to 360 degrees.